Virgo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. This is where we dive deep into the astrology for each zodiac sign every week, and this particular video is all for Virgo. It comes out every single week. It is for Virgo Sun. I do it by your Virgo Sun placements. I take where the current planets are and we review the current transits and planetary aspects in relationship to your natal sun. So what I'll do is I will break Virgo down into 3 groups, 3 parts of 10 degrees each. So a decant, which is a group of 10. Virgo ones, so if your natal sun is between 0 and 10 degrees, you are Virgo ones. If your natal sun is between 10 and 20 degrees Virgo, you are Virgo twos. And if your natal sun is between 20 and 30 degrees Virgo, you are Virgo threes. This is just how astrologers break it down into 3 separate groups, because 10 degrees is about the limit of where we'll take the aspects. And between Virgos in the beginning of Virgo season and Virgos in the end of Virgo season, you have a very, very different way of interacting with the planets. I mean, it's basically the difference between a sextile and a square, or a square and a trine, and that makes the energy very, very different. So to be as accurate as I can without knowing you and reading your personal chart and what's interacting with your actual sun, this is the best way and the most accurate way to get the most accurate information to you. So let's start really broad with Mercury, because wherever Mercury is going to impact you. Whatever's happening to Mercury, it's going to impact you. So in a general way, sort of in a broad stroke way, it will sort of influence all different aspects of especially your personality. So Mercury right now is in Pisces, which it's not very comfortable with, but I have to say, I would be very surprised if your intuition weren't way heightened right now, because intuition is basically all Pisces has got. Also, psychic energy, maybe communicating through dreams. If you've been dreaming a lot more, this is because Mercury is in Pisces and it would be impacting you. But this week, Mercury it starts at about 18 degrees Virgo, but it quickly, 18 degrees Pisces, which is in direct opposition to Virgo. Your home domicile is directly opposite Pisces. So oppositions are very difficult to go through, and when Mercury is in Pisces, it is in detriment, which means it's the most vulnerable, which means if you feel vulnerable right now, what it's really doing is the universe knocking down your comfort zones so that you can see that you have other strengths elsewhere, and by making you vulnerable, it's forcing you to be more open to different ways of doing things and interacting with people and information. So Mercury most especially is going to be in opposition to Virgo 3s this week, because I think it's only today, if you're watching this video on Friday, March 10th, I think it's only today that Mercury is at 18 to 19 degrees, or is an opposition from Virgo 2s. Most of this week is going to be in opposition to Virgo 3s, and it'll pass you by. What does that mean to have your natal sun in opposition to Mercury? It means that deciding could be very slow. Making decisions, getting information, or understanding it, having people understand you. It's very easy to be misinterpreted when Mercury is in opposition to your sun. A sense of how you think and who you think you are, very, very different. Or how you communicate, or how people are, how you communicate is in direct opposition to, maybe you're just not representing yourself very clearly when you speak right now. So that's going to present a challenge in essentially, an opposition is sort of like a blind side. You don't really know, you don't really have much control over it. And that can be uncomfortable. But in that discomfort, you can learn a lot about who you are. And when Mercury is in Pisces, what we're really learning about is faith. What we're really learning about is listening with your heart and your intuition instead of your intellect and your ears. So that's kind of what your challenge, but also opportunity will be this week, Mercury of Virgo 3s. Now, Mercury in general is going to impact you all, and it's about to come into something very, very special. And that is a conjunction with the Sun and Neptune. By the end of this week, the Sun and Neptune are in perfect conjunction, as so is Mercury along with them. So you have Mercury conjunct the Sun conjunct Neptune. If I had to summarize what this means and the mentality of this conjunction, I would say it's compassion. It's the ability to use your intellect, your empathy, and your courage to be able to open and understand and hear beyond what you normally would. It's also a very musical energy because the Sun conjunct Neptune is extremely creative. It is having confidence in inspiration and listening to faith and composing with God. But when Mercury comes in, it adds that mercurial ability to put things in order and make things definable and palpable. And so that is like a perfect conjunction for the next opus to be written, a great composition to be written. It is highly articulate energy that helps you articulate your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. So up until now, if that hasn't been clear to you guys, it will be clear to you. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. It will be clear to you this week. There's just basically inspiration, and since it's in opposition, especially to Virgo 3, so those of you born at the end of Virgo season, it could take you by surprise. It could be you're not even planning on it, you're not even trying, but all of a sudden you start to hear a tune in your head and you can't get it out. Write it down. This is divine inspiration. It's literally a radio station direct to God. Please listen and write this stuff down. Now, Virgo ones, your natal sun is in direct opposition to Saturn, and that is gonna be a challenge all year long, because Saturn will stay in the first decan of Pisces until next February. So, and you'll even experience a retrograde of this too. So for the next year, if you're born in the beginning of Virgo season, so that's essentially August Virgos, expect that there is some contentiousness that's going on with authority, the law, or authority figures. Maybe even your father or a paternal figure in your life. This sense of not having insight into it, not understanding where they're coming from, they're not understanding where you're coming from. This could be a theme that presents itself and challenges you all year long. It's sort of like a mini Saturn return, if you will. So understand that it's definitely not a curse, but there's nothing that you can really do to control it. You can only control your reactions to it. And so give yourself more time. Give yourself a time to breathe out. Don't take it personally, even though it's going to feel personal. Know that this is a challenge that's being set up by Saturn, which is that energy in the sky that is trying to get you to understand your capabilities without much help from others. And that's where you'll be challenged a lot this year, and that begins now. So especially in the beginning, in the next couple of months, now that the energy has first dropped into Pisces, is when you'll really start to feel it. However, you do have some help this week, and that is from Venus. You guys, Venus on Thursday, and really all week, because Venus is at the very end of Aries. So for those of you born at the very, very, very beginning of Virgo season, I would say in the first couple of days of Virgo season, I think that's like August 21st, 22nd, 23rd. You guys, especially right now, are going to be trine to Venus. And you'll be trine, your natal sun is going to be trine to Venus all week long. So that gives you a wonderful harmony when it comes to relationships, value, being valued, knowing what you value, feeling valued, and being able to put your value and invest your value in yourself. Just don't overspend your money, right? And that could be where the opposition from Saturn actually helps you, because you might want to get a new credit card and it says no. And that's just anytime that comes up, it's saying don't, because you may want it, but it's not going to be good for you. And when Venus is trine to your natal sun, you do tend to spend too much just because you're not thinking about it the way you normally would, because there is an optimism about it that can be not deceptive, but distracting. So definitely a beautiful time and a wonderful assist this whole week, especially when that opposition to Saturn has just begun. But if you're blocked by anything, it's probably to protect you. FYI. And then something else really interesting. Your natal suns are also trine to the north node and sextile to the south node, which means there is a sense of harmony that comes from where you are headed. It's attractive. You actually are curious about it. You want to see it. And there is a sextile, which means you're realizing your talents and skills and how to apply them. You are having an opportunity to apply your talents and skills from the past that have always been easy for you into moving toward the future, or some opportunity that's opening up in the future. So considering this is in Taurus, it could very well have to do with financial abundance, or a raise, or the opportunity to elevate yourself when it comes to your career, or to really establish yourself, maybe even take a leadership position on, now that you've got the nodes sort of on your side right now. And that'll be through May, when the nodes actually will change, and they'll be too far away from your natal suns to really be forming those aspects. But for now, you've got the next couple of months to really reap in the benefits of those nodes, and taking yourself into the direction of your future, especially when it comes to how you earn your money. FYI. Or where you put your money, or how you spend your money in particular. Now, for those of you born Virgo too, so that's kind of about like anybody who's born from like September 1st or 2nd to September 11th or 12th, depending on the year. We have a direct opposition to Mercury until Tuesday, until it conjuncts Neptune and the Sun. Your natal suns will be in direct opposition to Mercury. So that's, you guys will be feeling especially like you're in your own little mini Mercury retrograde. FYI, it's just that opposition to Mercury, and it'll only last through Tuesday. You are quincunx to the Jupiter and Chiron conjunction, so there's definitely a sense of feeling burdened by more and more increasingly challenging challenges that are sort of maybe pushing you too fast when it comes to dealing with some sort of suffering or hardship that you have been going through. So there's that challenge there. And then we have your trine to Uranus. So you're interested in change, you're comfortable with change, you kind of are probably hoping for it. It's like you're praying for it, because there's a lot of stress on you right now. Mercury, you're also, sextile to the midheaven, which means there's an opportunity coming, especially either toward your career or toward your external life, your sort of adult life, and what you're building out into the world. So that's good news. And then we have the ascendant is also conjunct your natal suns. So ultimately, what does that mean? It sort of means that people will be seeing you for how you are and who you are. So whatever guff you're taking or opportunity you're taking, you can rest assured that people are seeing you pretty clearly right now, and that the feedback that you're getting is pretty reliable when it comes to how people are interacting with you, what they're telling you about yourself, the judgments that they're making on you. That's actually to your advantage, I think, because it's like you're getting honesty, you're getting accurate reactions, and I think you need that right now, especially with that opposition to Mercury, and that sort of mini challenge that quincunx to Jupiter conjunct Chiron. This sense of things could be a real pain in the you-know-what for you right now, and so honesty is best. For those of you Virgo 3s, we've gone over a lot that's happening, but you guys are actually trine to Saturn, and you will be for this whole, that's the difference, right? It's like Virgo 1s, Oh, no. You're not trine to Saturn. I'm sorry, hold on. So you are guys that are in direct opposition to the Mercury, Sun, Neptune conjunction. And that's actually a nice position. I mean, opposition just sort of means that you won't necessarily feel completely in control of it or understand it. But like I said, like the inspiration could catch you by surprise. Your natal suns are in direct square to Mars right now. That's in Gemini. So there could be some challenge with taking action, especially with knowing what to say. Knowing the right words or words that have been coming at you relatively aggressively. This could actually be used as inspiration for that sort of like combustion of brilliance that you'll be experiencing, especially after Tuesday. So Virgo 3s, you are trying to Pluto. Pluto is, and you have been. This is nothing new. Pluto has been at the very end degrees of Capricorn, and that would put your natal suns in direct trine to that. So that's actually welcoming in and very comfortable with extremes. Maybe even detoxing or finding a sense of harmony with those things that you've tried to hide so that you can feel more comfortable and liberate yourself from them. This is a long-term process because Pluto stays for a while. So these few years of your life and into the next year, you'll still feel it there. Even when Pluto drops soon into Aquarius, especially if you're born at the very end of Virgo season, just right on the Libra cusp, you guys will still feel your life going through these major transitions. But since it's trine, there is a peace to it. There is a harmony to it. It's like balance is coming back, and the extreme things that are happening are creating relief. They're creating a sense of harmony and stability in your life again. A willingness to let things go, and a willingness to let things end without fear and without holding on. That's what you'll be blessed with, I think, especially for the next couple of months, but could be up to the next year. You guys, I love you, and I hope you'll come by Born Without Boundaries and check out your weekly tarot card reading, which is where we all began, right? Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you get these weekly updates and you're notified by them. If you want notifications, please do ring that notification bell. It's the same schedule as over Born Without Boundaries. Virgo will always be uploaded and live on Fridays for you guys. I hope to see you in the video, and I hope to see you next week. Bye, Virgo.